What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled, Are You Wasting Your Lifetime? I was looking at an older video of Michael Jai White and his current wife. He said, he thought he was dying, so that's when he just called her and professed his love. And I started thinking about that, like, a lot of us are addicted to wasting our lifetime, and we would probably go about it differently if we actually had 7 days to live, or a year to live, or 24 hours to live every day. Like when they say live every day like your last. Because what I notice is, say the person that you really love, you don't tell them that you love them. You don't treat them like you love them. This idea of, this is why sometimes funerals are so sad, because you wasted a lot of time not loving on the person that you should have, and now when there's no time to love them, you mourn that loss. You don't just mourn the loss of life, you mourn the opportunity to love them in the manner that you wish you could have, or should have, rather. So, are you wasting your lifetime? Sometimes dreams die because we don't feed them. And we find a million ways to not feed our dreams and aspirations, not to attempt our passions or do the things that we're passionate about. And then a lifetime goes by, and what happens? You regret not doing certain things, or not attempting certain things. Whether you succeeded or failed, you regret it. So are you wasting your lifetime? You could have got it together. You could have. Or you can get it together, rather. You're still living. But are you wasting it with time-wasting practices? That's what they would call it on a job. What are your time-wasting practices? Because I don't think we have a problem with feeding our vices and putting overtime into our vices, or overtime into our procrastination, or overtime into a delusional mindset that, I got all the time in the world. But putting the time into something that you actually are passionate about, it's just too hard. I don't know why, but that's what it is. And sometimes, and because, and I use myself in this aspect. This is a hobby, just like music is a hobby. I love both things. But when I write music, I have to live a little bit before I write, or I have to use my imagination. And making the music is very easy. It's the creating from scratch when the music comes on to get the engine revved up. That's the hard part, because your mind goes so many places. You have to commit to an idea, and completely commit to an idea, and be fully invested in the moment. And you also have to commit to being open, because you might go with a set plan, right? And something comes on and it changes your whole world. So you could go happy and wanting to make something happy, and then something comes on and you make a sad song. You can go sad and depressed. Something comes on and you make a happy song. You have to be open to that. It's just like art. Like sometimes you gotta make something come alive in the moment that wasn't there, and make something untangible tangible. And I think we have a hard time committing to that, because when I think about it, like if I had a year, 2 years, like people, I love to see the stories of like kids and adults who get like, they got cancer, they got a year, 6 months to live, and they fight, and they're like, nah, I'm not done yet, and they fight. Some of them make it, some of them don't, but all of them make a commitment to live. And I think we don't do that enough. I think, and what I mean by live, I mean truly live a positive life. Sometimes we're attracted to the things that would be, I would say, death wish material, or things that cause us pain. I think a lot of us are attracted to painful situations because we're kind of masochistic, in a sense of we don't love ourselves so we want somebody, or we want to meet somebody to, or put ourselves in situations that are very dysfunctional and detrimental. But if you said, if somebody told you only got a certain amount of time to live, you probably would say, well, look, I'm not going to focus the rest of my time, the rest of my life on things that might get, on taking risks that might get me killed or harmed or scarred for life, because I ain't got enough life to waste doing that. And I think that's part of the issue. Like, are we wasting our lifetime? Because sometimes we don't question, the ideologies that we have, and we don't question the time that our ideologies take up of our lifetime. And you wake up years later, if you change that ideology, there's a lot of wreckage behind you from when you were in it. And the reason I say that is because very few American ideologies have positive influence on everybody around you. Like, the overwhelming majority of American ideologies are rooted in something negative. And they're rooted in conflict, confrontation. Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And what I mean by that is, it don't have to be a fair fight. A person can take their win and be proud of themselves, and a person can take their loss and still be proud of themselves. It's rooted in smoke and mirror. And what happens when you're given a finite amount of time, like if people knew that if it was on your birth certificate, you were born this day, but you're gonna die this day, you would look at life completely differently. Then you were like, look, I'm gonna feel this dash with a lot of these things, because that's the thing about life that's interesting, is we don't know when we're gonna die. We know the aging process, but things happen in life, so you don't necessarily know, your last days or when you're gonna die. But we assume that we're gonna live a long life, and we do all these things to shorten our lives. We make reckless decisions. We kind of poison ourselves with the things we put in our body. We stress ourselves out, because we feel like we got time to make it up. We do certain things that we may never be able to fix or change. And I think about it like, how much of our lifetime are we wasting on negativity? Because ultimately, I think the vast majority of us are scared to take a risk to have an actual positive, fulfilling, good life. We're comfortable with a negative life and to be the victim of life or circumstance or upbringing or anything. Like, we're comfortable with the narrative more so than the possibility of something better. And that's unfortunate. So I'm done with this one. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.